Gracias, pa.
Dios, que te vaya bien, ¿ok? Diviértete.
Hey, so this is a story about the time that I didn't know what I was doing with my life. Everything seemed like it was falling apart, so rationally, my brain did the only thing that I know how to do. Buy a plane ticket. So I bought a plane ticket to Europe and I didn't tell anyone until a couple days before I had to leave, and then I booked a tour with people I've never met, things I've never done, and I had zero expectations. I didn't know what I was doing, but I did it anyway, and it turned out to be one of the best trips of my life. So yeah, this is the beginning of it. It all started February 7th, my departure date. The actual Scandinavian tour didn't start until February 8th, but from where I live to get to Copenhagen, it takes an entire day of travels, plus time change. So my journey to Copenhagen was actually one of the most stressful travel experiences I've ever had, just because my flight from Denver to New York was delayed by 5 hours, and I had a 5.5-hour layover in New York. Now, I only had 30 minutes to go from LaGuardia to JFK International Airport on a Friday night.
So it leaves at 7:30, but it boards at 6:30.
6:30, you'll be fine. We'll be there like 40 minutes.
Okay.
I'll be there before 6:30. I will try my best.
Okay, thank you so much.
Where are you from?
I'm from Mexico.
Are you good?
So after the longest 40 minutes of my life, I finally made it to JFK, and I got an email saying that I needed to check in at the kiosk once I got to the airport because there was something wrong with my boarding pass. So of course I'm freaking out. I thank the Uber driver. I run out of the Uber into the airport, the first little kiosk of Norwegian Airlines. I sign into it and the kiosk is broken. So the guy at the airport tells me that I need to go to the desk area, thingamajigger, you guys know what I'm talking about, where the agents are. So I have to run to the desk area, talk to this lady, and she's like, your flight is boarding already. And I'm like, yes, I am aware. I need my ticket. And I was really nice to her, but you could tell she just was having a bad day. And she asked me about my suitcase, and I said, this is a carry-on. I'm allowed to have a carry-on. And she started arguing with me and telling me that no, I wasn't allowed to, so I was going to have to check it for $60. And honestly, I didn't have to. I know what I was allowed and what I wasn't allowed, but I didn't have time to argue with her because I was literally like 10 minutes away from missing my flight. So I just paid the $60, but nevertheless, super stressful. At this point, my flight is 20 minutes into its boarding process, and I'm panicking. Now, I'm going to speed through this part because obviously I made it to London. Spoiler alert. Otherwise, you know, what would be the point of this video? The airport in London gave me major stress because the screen just said gate info at 7:55, but my ticket said that boarding was at 7:55, so I wasn't sure what to do, and instead I just went and got some food.
Thank you for shopping with us.
Where did you see? Did you see the boots? That's what I was.
Then at 7:55, the screen finally said my boarding gate information, and I just made my way onto the gate, and then I waited for about another hour, and I ate my food at the gate. Then I boarded, and suddenly I was in Copenhagen. Okay, so I feel like I owe you guys a little bit of an update of what has happened so far. It has been nothing but hectic, but it's good, like better, I think. I don't know. My last flight to get to my destination, and I'm pumping. Got all the attitude. My last flight was super good in terms of the flight, but getting to my flight, I was stressed the heck out. My ears were like ringing, my throat was burning, like everything hurt, my eyes were gonna pop out of my face. All of my stress was just like pulsating my entire body, and I made it fine. Like, all of this could have been avoided. Everything would have been fine if my flight from Denver to New York had not been delayed. And karma is good because I got 3 seats all to myself and I was able to just lay on them and I completely fell asleep, charged my phone, then I landed here and I had to go get my bag and all of that. So far so good. I'm here. I was stressing to get here as well. I got some food because I need some food for my system. And yeah, let's go to Copenhagen.
Just about ready to go now. We're still loading some bags downstairs in the aft cargo hold. Once that's done, flight time to Copenhagen, 1 hour and 30 minutes. Cold conditions en route in Copenhagen, 5 degrees, scattered clouds. And the cabin crew will be doing a short safety demonstration in a few moments. If you could please give that your full attention, it would be very much appreciated, as it is entirely for your safety and the safety of those around you. A little bit later on the flight, we'll have an update on our progress. In the meantime, please sit back, relax, enjoy the service. Thank you.
So this was my last flight to get to Copenhagen, from London to Copenhagen, and it was about a 1 hour and 40-minute flight. Super easy, although I was exhausted from the time difference and the fact that I've been traveling for 2 days straight. I could not sleep. I was way too excited. I was a little nervous, and this is when it finally hit me that I was doing this alone, that I was about to land in Copenhagen, and I was actually going to have to leave the airport and get to my hostel on my own without speaking the language. I wasn't too worried about the language barrier. Most Europeans actually speak English. It was just nerve-wracking because I was completely alone, but I was more excited than nervous. The first thing I did when I got off the plane was actually go and use the restroom, and when I got to the restroom, I saw that the stalls were completely enclosed spaces. And I've actually done a bit of traveling and I'd never came across a bathroom stall like that, like completely closed, and I really liked it, and I thought that it was like a lot more comfortable experience, if you know what I mean. So I don't know, I just thought to take a video of it. Pretty cool. So since Copenhagen was my final destination, I did have to go through customs, which was easy and super organized. It probably took me about 5 minutes to get through customs, not even. I just went through, talked to the officer, they took my picture, scanned my passport, and I was on my way. Once I passed customs, I knew I had to go get my ticket to the metro, and I knew that the metro was located somewhere inside of the airport. I just had to find it. I didn't have Wi-Fi and I didn't have cellular data, so I based everything off of screenshots that I had taken previously when I was in the States. And I had a little bit of trouble getting the tickets as well. The person at the ticket kiosk was a little bit rude, but nevertheless, he was able to help me once I showed him my screenshots because I couldn't pronounce the name of the destination. But once he was able to help me, I made my way to the metro and I knew exactly where I needed to get off. Once I got off, I was basically completely on my own, and I had to get to the hostel based on my screenshots that I had taken. I didn't end up making conversation with this lady, and she helped me, she guided me in the right direction of where I needed to head once I got out of the metro station, and then I walked my way to the hostel based on my screenshots. I did end up missing my turn. I just didn't see the street name, and I ended up walking far more than I needed to, but I wasn't really mad about it. It was a beautiful view. Once I realized that I had passed it and I was walking way too far, it just seemed like I'd been walking for longer than my screenshots said I needed to walk for. It said it was about a 5-minute walk, and I'd been walking for about 10 minutes now. So I realized something was wrong. So then I did end up turning on my cellular data to turn maps on to make sure that I got to my destination. Then I realized that I had missed a turn by a couple blocks, and thankfully I was able to make it just fine. And now I'll show you guys what the hostel looked like and my first impressions.
Made it to the hostel. I had to open my data because I passed the turn and I didn't know where I was. So yeah, let's go check in.
Okay, update. I made it to the hostel. I accidentally, like I said in the elevator, I went past my turn because I didn't realize that the streets don't really have street names. It's really hard to see. So I went way past my street, and then I had to turn on my my data. Had to turn on like my cellular data so I could map it out and come back. So then I came back, made the right turn, and then we're not allowed to check in yet. So she gave me the key to the luggage room, which is where I'm at. And then I went downstairs and handed it back to her, but I asked if there's any way that I could take a shower because a girl is sweaty. I am so sweaty. So she said she would. She gave me a key to the showers, and I'm supposed to grab my luggage, take this back, then shower, and then I'll show you guys the hostel. Whew. It's been a trip, man. Here is some proof that I am literally the sweatiest human being. This isn't pee or anything. It's the back of my pants and it's all covered in sweat. So I needed a shower desperately. The showers were actually, these are community showers. There are showers in each room, but these are just like extra community showers and they are completely enclosed. I brought everything in with me to the shower just because I didn't have anywhere to put it and I didn't really trust people at the time. And you should never really trust anyone at a hostel anyway. Always have your belongings with you. Unless they're locked away in a locker, I recommend always having your belongings with you. So I brought them into the shower with me in the hopes that they would just not get wet. And they didn't, so it was great. I am all dressed and showered now. This microfiber towel, so far, I mean, it worked perfectly. It dried me off super quickly. Now we're gonna see how long it takes for the towel to actually dry. But oh my gosh, I feel 10 times better. I felt like I was like I had a layer of grossness. I don't know, like a layer of sweat and everything. It was gross. But I'm showered now. I feel good. I'm gonna get out of this like little cell and put my luggage in the luggage room and show you guys the place. Wow, what a difference. All showered up, different jacket and outfit. Ready to check that in. Let's go. So my group meets in about 40 minutes and I decided that instead of just sitting around the hostel, I would walk around just to see, you know, the little houses, little streets. I don't know. I love Europe. I love its structure and every place has its own different infrastructure. So I don't know. I just find it super interesting and super pretty.
There is a life I lead in this city, hurrying to cut my teeth. I can take what I need to get by. It doesn't make it easy. The other piece of my heart moves slow, somewhere in the great unknown. When I return from the afterglow, will you carry me like I am whole again? Wait, hold on, put me together, take me back where I belong. I want it all. I had a feeling, but the feeling is all gone. Wait, hold on, put me together, take me back where I belong. I want it all. I had a feeling, but the feeling is all gone. take you back to my